Welcome to Excel Basics 2. This tutorial will explain the different Excel screen elements and how to effectively navigate and use them to your advantage.
We need to quickly establish an important distinction between a workbook and a worksheet. A workbook contains one or many worksheets. A worksheet consists of cells in which you can enter data and formulas. Worksheets can be added to workbooks and can be copied or moved into new or existing workbooks. Think of a workbook as exactly that, a book, while the worksheets are the pages within the book. Moving on to the different Excel screen elements, here they are all shown. Some of them are standard across the Microsoft Office programs, while others are unique to Excel and designed with the application use in mind. Let's take a closer look into the individual screen elements, starting with the Quick Access Toolbar. The Quick Access Toolbar is a customizable toolbar containing commands that are independent of the ribbon tab that is currently displayed. If there are commands you use very often, the Quick Access Toolbar is a great way to quickly access commands without having to navigate to the relevant ribbon. The Quick Access Toolbar can be customized by going to File, Options, Quick Access Toolbar. From here, you are presented with many options to make the Quick Access Toolbar work just right for you. The window on the left contains all the available commands, and the window on the right contains the commands you have selected to show on the Quick Access Toolbar. As default, the popular commands are shown in the left menu, but this can be changed by using the drop-down to show all or more specific subcommands. You can add a command to show on the Quick Access Toolbar by simply selecting it and clicking on the Add button. Commands can be removed by selecting a command and clicking on the Remove button. You can also choose whether the customization made should apply to all documents or only the current workbook. You can toggle whether to show the Quick Access Toolbar or not, what toolbar position you want, and toggle showing command labels or not. Don't be afraid to experiment and find the perfect Quick Access Toolbar for you, because you can always use the Reset function to remove the customization you have made. The Import and Export function allows you to export your customizations into a file that can be imported and used on other computers. For example purposes, we will add the Custom Sort command and the Freeze Panes command to our Quick Access Toolbar. The order of the command icons can be changed to your liking by using the up and down arrows. Note what the toolbar looks like now, and once we hit the OK button, the customization we have made will reflect in the toolbar. The Quick Access Toolbar can also be controlled by using the down arrow. Clicking on More Commands takes you to the Detailed Options menu. Let's click on Show Below the Ribbon to move the toolbar to below the ribbon. Note that the Show Command Labels can now be selected, which adds labels next to the various command icons. Command labels can also be hidden again. The Quick Access Toolbar can be hidden using the down arrow as well. Now that the Quick Access Toolbar is hidden, you can make it show again by going to File, Options, Quick Access Toolbar and clicking on Show Quick Access Toolbar. The Quick Access Toolbar can also be hidden and shown by right-clicking anywhere on the ribbon and selecting Hide or Show Quick Access Toolbar. Right-clicking on a command icon will give access to the Quick Access Toolbar options and the ability to remove the icon you right-clicked on from the Quick Access Toolbar. The next screen element is the Workbook Name. When opening a new workbook, the default name will be Book 1. This will change to reflect the name you save the workbook as. Next is the search bar, where you can search for actions, text, help, and more. For example, searching for dates will result in the display of some actions related to the search term. Find in Worksheet, which brings up the Find function with the search text entered. Files matching the search text. Help articles. Clicking on More search results at the bottom will open the search task pane with some help articles, Wikipedia article, media results, dictionary results, more help articles, and web results. The search task pane can be closed by clicking on the X. If you do not want the search bar taking up so much space, it can be collapsed by going to File, Options, General, and toggling Collapse the Microsoft search box by default. This causes the search to show as a search icon in the top right. This will expand when clicking on it and collapse again when not in use. Going back the File, Options, And toggling the option again will bring back the original state of the search bar. Moving on to the account section, this is where you can enter your Microsoft personal, work or school account and password. The intricacies of setting up a Microsoft account is outside of the scope of this tutorial. Next is the ribbon. The ribbon tabs open different ribbons which contain commands relating to the ribbon tab name. The Page Layout tab, for example, opens up the ribbon containing commands to help you with customizing the layout of the worksheet. A set of closely related commands are contained in a group. The dialog launcher brings up more commands and is typically found on groups that have a lot of commands that won't fit nicely in the space allowed in the ribbon. If you need more space on the screen on smaller devices like a laptop, the ribbon can be collapsed by right-clicking anywhere on the ribbon, or ribbon tabs, and selecting Collapse the Ribbon. The ribbon will now only be shown when clicking on a ribbon tab and will collapse again when moving away from the ribbon. To have the ribbon always show again, right-click on the ribbon tabs and click on Collapse the Ribbon. The ribbon can be customized by right-clicking anywhere on the ribbon or ribbon tabs and clicking Customize the Ribbon, or by going to File. Options. Customize Ribbon. From here, you can change the order of the ribbon tabs by using the up and down arrows. The order of groups within a tab can be changed in the same way. We won't go into any details, but be aware that you can create a new tab and name it to your liking. New groups can be added to your newly created tab or be added to existing tabs. Commands can then be added to and removed from your newly created tabs and groups as needed. Just like the Quick Access toolbar, the customizations you have made can be reset. The Import and Export function allows you to export your customizations into a file that can be imported and used on other computers. The last thing to note about the ribbon is that certain tabs will become visible depending on what is selected. For example, selecting a chart brings up the Chart Design and Format tabs, while selecting a picture brings up the Picture Format tab. Next up is the name box. This shows the address of the active cell or the name of a selected object like a chart or a picture. For example, the currently selected cell is B3. When selecting the chart, the name of the chart is shown, and selecting the picture shows the picture name. Note that this is not the file name of the picture, it is the name as assigned within Excel. The name box has uses for more advanced users which will be covered in a separate tutorial. The seventh screen element of this tutorial is the formula bar. This is where data or formulas for a selected cell appears. For example, cells A1 and B1 have the numbers 1 and 3 respectively, while cell C1 has a formula which sums the two numbers together. Notice how the formula bar shows the formula while cell C1 shows the number 4, which is the result of the formula. Please note that formulas must start with an equal sign. Data and formulas can be typed into a cell or directly into the formula bar. The Insert Function button opens up a screen from where you can find and insert functions. Select a function to insert and click on OK. This will open the function's argument screen, which will help you to further understand the formula's required arguments and guide you in completing the formula. The formula bar can be resized horizontally by dragging the three dots, or vertically by hovering over the bottom border and dragging down. When bigger than 2 lines, the formula bar can be collapsed and expanded using the arrow on the far right hand side. The formula bar can also be hidden by going to the View tab and in the Show group toggling the formula bar. Next up is the active cell, which simply put is the cell you have selected and busy working with and is indicated by a bolded green border. A cell can be selected by left-clicking on it. An active cell has an address as indicated in the name box and is referenced by a column letter and a row number, in this case E11. This segues us into the next two screen elements, namely columns and rows. Columns run vertically and are referenced by a letter. Rows run horizontally and are referenced by numbers. The column and row heading can be hidden by going to the View tab and under the Show group toggling headings. When opening a new workbook, you will have one sheet, or 3 sheets if using an older Excel version. Right-clicking on a Sheet tab will bring up a menu with different options. Clicking on the plus sign adds a new sheet. Select a worksheet by left-clicking on it. The current active worksheet is indicated by a green underline and a change in the bevel. You can change the order of sheets by holding in left-click and moving the sheet to the desired location. Note the arrow that indicates where the worksheet will be moved to. If you have a workbook with many worksheets, you can use the arrow buttons to navigate between different tabs or right-click and select the desired worksheet. To rename a sheet, right-click and select Rename, or double left-click on the sheet. The final Excel screen element in this tutorial is the status bar, which shows information depending on what you're currently doing in the worksheet, and also contains the view shortcuts and zoom controls. Right-clicking on the status bar allows you to customize what information you would like to have displayed or not.
Thank you for watching this Excel Basics tutorial on the brief introduction to the different Excel screen elements. Please leave a like if you liked the tutorial. Subscribe to stay updated when a new tutorial drops.